Hey everyone, today I am super excited. I am interviewing a fellow show jumper, which always gets me pumped. I have Ellie on with me today, and she's going to share her story. And I find her story extremely inspirational. That's why I invited her on today. So I'm going to let Ellie just go ahead and jump on and just give a quick introduction of yourself and where you are and yeah, your story.
Okay. But basically, I am really determined that I'm going to become an international show jumper before I am 60. Originally, it was before I'm 50, and I'm 54 now, so that's gone past. I have sold my house so that I can afford to do this because I didn't have any money. And I was working for international show jumpers and an international dressage rider, helping them out, doing all the stuff for them, and never particularly getting any further with my own career. I was lucky enough to be given a really good horse by my last coach, and I'm now absolutely 100% determined I am going to be an international show jumper. I am. You watch this, please.
Yeah, no, when you reached out to me and you told me your goals, and I was like, yes, like, yeah, finally. Another show jumper and somebody, I mean, like, you have things to do with your life. And I love that
Yes.
because there's so many people, I think they're kind of scared of either A, saying their dreams out loud to others for the fear of being judged. But
Oh,
also I
definitely.
think there's this big, I don't know, fear of even going there. Like even like I can't even dream that big because it's just not possible. So why bother? Do you know? So
I
what
also
are
think
your
there's
thoughts
a
about that?
well, I think a lot of the time these people have a problem because they've got there's a crab bucket mentality going on in their life, and they are dreaming. They want to get out. They want to do something, but they're stuck in a bucket, and all their peer group, for want of a better word, they're dragging them back down. No, you're not allowed to leave. You've got to stay with us. And I've actually experienced that before with a coach from a long time ago. She wanted me to stay with her. She didn't want me to leave the yard. So I wasn't allowed to do this. I wasn't allowed to do that. So I think, yes, it's crab bucket mentality. Read Terry Pratchett's version on that. He's very good.
Oh yeah. And I know it got brought up in our VIP. So Ellie obviously is one of the VIP inner circle members. So I speak to her a lot and I'm following her journey a lot. But we brought it up in the call the other day. I mentioned Jim Rohn, who's one of my favorite speakers, and he's more of a motivational speaker, but he was also saying, like, who are your five closest friends? And that directly reflects your bank account, and I know that's very
Oh,
money
yes,
related, but it's the same with horses. Who are you hanging out with? Like, who are you taking lessons with? Who are your instructors? Are your instructors believing in your goals?
yes. It's so important that everybody that's around you supports you. I've been following Peter Sage and Denise Duffield Thomas. They're both very inspirational people. Uh, Again, they're both very money motivated. It is very much their business. They're entrepreneurs. But so much of the stuff that they talk about, it's because it's mindset. And if you're going to win, if you're going to win in anything in life, you have to have the right mindset. You can't sit there going, oh God, yeah, never happens for me. Of course it doesn't. If you sit there like that, you've got to get up and do something.
Yeah, definitely. So I know a lot of you guys are at home right now feeling really frustrated in your riding, or you're just not improving, you're feeling stuck. And I do want to say, Ellie, when I first jumped on a call with you, I think it wasn't even that long ago. It was like a month ago, wasn't it?
Oh yes, yeah, I think I'm on week 2 of Sticky Butt, and I did a couple of weeks doing your guided audio previously.
Yeah, yeah.
In
So
fact, yes, my second payment has just gone out. So it's
okay,
the
okay.
beginning
So
of
there we
the
go.
second month.
Yeah. So second month. So I haven't. It wasn't even that long ago, but I remember, speaking to you on the phone, and you just felt really frustrated, and like there was this glass ceiling. So do you want to maybe share a little bit about that?
Oh, definitely. I feel like I have been constantly fighting to fulfill my dream all the way along. I know that I'm capable of being a much better rider because I was 20 years ago. I was regularly winning. I was okay if I wasn't winning every class, I was certainly being placed.
And you were
And
jumping a
then I
meter
had
20. You were jumping pretty decent height. Yeah.
yes, and then I had 2 nasty falls, one after another, both in lessons, both with a coach that was pushing me too far, too fast, with a horse who was not ready to do it, And the first fall was on an oxer that was about 1 meter 15, I think, and he'd made the spread far too wide. And the horse just basically landed in the middle. I came off, horse landed on top of me. That didn't bother me too much. I wanted to make sure the horse and I were both okay, but that didn't make me lose my confidence. What that did was the following week, riding the same horse on a cross country, jumping a ditch, 2 strides, and then a ditch with quite a steep bank the other side. Horse landed wrong, rolled back on top of me, and I just totally lost my confidence. I was back to being like a learner, shaking, scared to do anything. And from that, I developed loads and loads of habits that a scared person would have. For example, jumping before the horse, trying to lift the horse up over the jumps with my hands, because that's never going to happen. Leaning too far forwards, holding my breath, occasionally screaming rather a lot. And I struggled on with this for about 5 or 6 years.
Okay, so you were struggling for 5 or 6 years with this, feeling like you were stuck and not really progressing. And
yes, yeah.
And I mean, it's strange when you say it out loud. I mean, 5 and 6 years, like that's a really long time to be struggling with this. Is. But at the same time, I can't tell you how many riders like I meet that are in that situation, you know, where it's not been a week or a month, like you've been struggling for years, you know, years.
Yes.
So yeah, okay.
And it completely floored me, my confidence wise. I was never scared before. I was very much I was the person that would be jumping the jump, and the second we got around, I was literally jumping around the ring to cut that corner so I could then speed on to the next jump. And I used to take a lot of risks. And I look back and I think, really, Ellie, your riding actually was not good enough to be doing that. But I got away with it.
Yeah. And, you know, when you are stuck and when you've had an accident, like it's a scary place to be in. I know not everyone watching knows, but I also had a pretty severe show jumping accident. This was when I was 21 years old when this happened, and it was like almost a career ender. And it's scary. It's scary, and it's hard to walk away from something like that. Not just physically, I couldn't walk away, but yeah, to emotionally come back. You know, at that time in my life, I was sort of at my peak. I felt like I was super athletic. I was riding 5, 6, 7 horses every single day. Like I was in it. And then all of a sudden it was taken away from me, and I couldn't even do something as basic as rising to the trot. So, you know, I know how scary it is. And that's why, again, like your story, it's so inspirational. Because again, I know you only started with me a month or so ago, or 2 months ago. How do you, like, what's going on now in your riding, and how are you currently overcoming this feeling of unstuck and progressing?
Oh, hold on a minute. Your questions didn't match up with what we did on Facebook.
Is this a new one?
hold on a moment. I have
so
cards.
What are you working on now? Because you're working with me. How are you currently working on getting unstuck?
Well, I think that just being part of the VIP inner circle has definitely helped me a lot. Just knowing that there is a small group of other riders out there that are working on the same exercises at the same time as me gives you a sense of camaraderie. And especially having an accountability partner. I find the Cerise, the lady that you've introduced me to, we've got so much in common. So we can just chat about where we are on that particular day, what went wrong the previous day.
And you're in France and she's in Colorado. And
yes. And being able to see on your VIP Facebook page, for example, being able to see the other people in the group doing the exercises, and then I can say, okay, yes, I can do these. They can do them. I can do them too.
Yeah, definitely. And so what had you tried before you found me?
Lots of different coaches. And I don't think that was really the brightest things to do, because everybody was contradicting each other.
Yeah.
I had one coach that said, keep your hands right down. Another coach, keep your hands up, more in the Philip Carl style. Contradicting information was just make me freeze and do nothing. I'm too scared to actually just get out there and ride, because I like to do it properly if possible now.
Okay. This question I think is not on your list. But what was there something specific about my style, or you're in the program now, so obviously you're getting my lessons and coaching, but is there something where you're kind of like, does it make sense? Or how, because I get this question a lot of people are like, how do you know who to listen to? So maybe you can share like what you discovered.
You kind of split that into two questions. So to go back to the first part of it, I like the fact that you give information in so many different forms. There's different people who learn in different ways. There's something for everybody to understand. And everything is, so far as I can see in the month and a bit that I've been doing, it seems to be a logical progression. So I start doing one part of it, and then the next part of it builds on. And it gives you a lesson plan and a structure, which I'm finding very, very helpful.
Perfect. And so what was the turning point that made you say, you know what, that's it, I'm doing this, like I'm all in?
I have that on my card.
Okay, there we go.
You were kept appearing everywhere. It was almost like the universe was going, go to this woman, Ellie. You kept appearing on Facebook, and then I watched some of your YouTube videos. So I subscribed to your newsletter, which I found very interesting, which is normal. That's a normal progression inside of social media. But then you started appearing in other places. Like I'd just finished editing a book for, shameless plug here, Ruth Cox, Exodus. And she'd written a book about crossing the steppes of Mongolia. And then there you appear, and I see you as this person who has also done the Mongol Derby. Then Ruth Cox got interviewed by this international, was it
Equestrian Adventuresses? Yeah. That's my other company for everyone who doesn't know, but yeah,
which I didn't know at the time.
I try and be as anonymous as possible because I'm like, it's about you guys, it's not about me. But yeah, there you go.
But then it turned out that was you as well.
Yeah,
okay, she's kind of appearing rather a lot here. And then one day there was another advert. No, you came into my email with this course, and you had to put a little one word or something, or one short phrase, and email it to you. And you replied to me the same day. So I thought, okay, then
I'm a real person. I'm not a robot. Yeah.
Yes, let's have a conversation here. And we had the conversation, and I think I clicked. I thought I could talk to this woman.
Well, that's good. That's a plus for me.
Yeah.
No, I definitely, as soon as I had you on the call, I was like, even on the little form that you filled out before, so I could kind of get to know you, I was like, this is my person. Like, I know I'm going to love this lady. Like, I loved your goals. Actually, do you want to just go ahead and quickly share what your goals are with everyone? I know you kind of brushed it a little bit, but
I want to be regularly competing on the international circuit. When I spoke to you, all I wanted to do was one class on the international circuit. But since I've now decided that I actually want to be regularly competing on the international circuit, I feel I can do it. I've got the horse that can do it. I've got the coach that's going to get me there. I loved what you said on, was it one of our coaching calls, or was it a private call? I can't remember now. That it's the coach's job to get you there. And I thought, okay. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. The only thing I'm missing is a lorry. So if there's any sponsors out there, I need a lorry.
Okay, everyone, putting that in the universe there for Ellie. Lori. Yeah, no, definitely. And I'm, anyone who's worked with me, I'm a big believer in the universe at large, let's say. And
me too, definitely.
Yeah, going with your gut and what feels right and your instincts, because I find there's a lot of, you can always think of reasons not to do something, like always.
I know. And if you're going to spend the time doing that, you might as well spend the time thinking of reasons that you can do it.
Yeah, exactly. No, totally. And that's the biggest, I think, hump that I've seen a lot of people who don't make that decision is like, they just talk themselves out of it. And it's like, what a shame, because the only one it's hurting is you,
Yes.
It doesn't stop my earth from spinning. You know what I mean? If you don't get your goals. However, when you get your goal, I feel like I'm getting that goal with you. I don't know. That's how I am as the coach. Maybe that's my personality. I don't know. But okay. So what has been your biggest ahas or light bulb moments so far since you've started following, my training plan system and process?
Well, this goes back to mindset, in fact. Rising trot without stirrups and the power of the mind, how it helps you. I was convinced, absolutely 100%. I nearly went into French then. I was absolutely 100% convinced that there was no way that I was going to be able to do the rising trot without stirrups. I thought, well, how does that even work? I must have gone round. I decided to do it on my little pony because I figured he's got a bit more momentum. He's got a bit more dun, 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 about him. And I thought, he can spring me into the rising trot. And I must have gone around the circle about 3 times going, go on, you could do it, Ellie, you could do it, you could do it. No, I haven't done it. It's like if you're a kid and you're running up to a fence and you're going, I'm going to jump this, I'm going to jump this. Oh, no, I'm not going to do it. And then you turn around and you run back. No, I'm not going to do it. I must have gone around and around like that. And eventually I went, just do it. And then I just went rising trot without stirrups because I told myself I could do it and therefore I could. So that was my aha moment.
Oh,
and I've since used it on the standing up in the stirrups in a walk. Yeah. Trot is not so hard. The momentum again keeps you going. Yeah, I can now do it. I'm using my mind to make my body do it. Yeah, it's not pretty. It's not perfect, but it's done.
Yeah. And maybe you can share some other successes or stories that you've had so far inside the VIP inner circle.
Dogs and frogs. The first day I did it, I couldn't walk the next day.
And you're a super fit lady, by the way.
I know. I used to cycle 60 kilometers a day. I've done long distance running. Yes, I might be 54, but I'm still fairly fit. I can touch my toes, by the way, and I'm older than you.
I know, that's one thing I can't do for sure. No, yeah, I definitely. I'm watching the videos of you riding, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like this woman could wrestle a bear. You're very athletic for sure.
But I was making myself do them, but the next day I didn't hurt. I will say that I didn't hurt, but I stood up and I got out of the caravan. And yes, I do live in a caravan because I sold my house so I can do this. I nearly fell and I kind of wobbled. It was as if I'd got up in the morning, had a pint of gin and then tried to walk across the field. An hour later, I was absolutely fine. So yes, and success, I do have 2 other successes: becoming Batman and stopping being Mrs. Bobblehead.
Yes, those are definitely some.
I do this now. I go like this. You haven't had the videos because I'm very bad at technology, but I turn. Okay. I'm not going. And I don't do this when I'm riding, but I do it a little bit, and then I can feel my head starting to do this. I go, "You bobbleheading, Ellie, stop it!" And then my chin parallel.
Yeah, perfect. So okay, you just kind of casually touched on that you sold your caravan, and I think maybe you could mention a little bit as well. Like, I don't know. Again, earlier, like when we were talking about, there's a lot of people with these fears about chasing their dreams. You're somebody who you win all in.
Oh yes, definitely.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you have advice for people who they're too scared to go all in? They're having excuses. I mean, not everyone is going to sell their house. I get it. But I don't know. What are your thoughts about that?
I remember having a date with a man, and he was an accountant, and he hated his job as an accountant, but he was a really talented amateur photographer. And just sitting on the wall outside this church, we'd never met before. We met online, and we had this first date. And I just couldn't get over how somebody would waste their life being something that they didn't want to be when they had a love that could actually earn them a living. He went off. We didn't end up going out together, but he contacted me about a month later. He'd given his notice in as being an accountant, and he was then a successful photographer. You can do it. You just have to know that you can do it. Why would you stay in a job that you don't like? I just really don't understand that. I think staying in a job that you can't be doing is in theory braver than giving up the job and chasing your dream, because you're doing something that fulfills you. You got one go at this. Well, unless you're into reincarnation, then you might have a few more goes.
Yeah, definitely. No, I definitely can. Not so much me. I always have been the wild card doing whatever I want. But my husband, I'm going to tell you guys a little like personal thing here. I almost didn't date Christian. Not because he wasn't like charming and lovely, because of course he was, but he had an office job. He was a boring mechanical engineer in Germany. And I was just like, you're not going to be able to keep up with me. Like, I'm traveling, like, I'm not in the same place for more than a few months. Like, this is never, just never going to work. And I mean, he was very determined, obviously, but he had to kind of go through that process himself of he was working the job and it wasn't as fulfilling as it should be. And at some point he had to make that decision, and he did. We left England. That's where he went and he transferred office there. But he left that job and he's kind of freelancing now. And I mean, yeah, we're here and he's working remotely as an engineer, which a few years ago he never thought was even possible. So yeah, I find that, if you put it out there, like the universe will find a way.
Yes.
Okay, maybe I'm quoting Jurassic Park or something, but like life finds a way, or I find that that's so true.
Yes. There's a weird example of that. I remember cycling down a really snowy embankment once, and my hands were absolutely freezing. And I said, really wish I had a pair of gloves. And do you know what? About 2 kilometers further on, I found a pair of snow gloves on the floor.
Okay, there.
So the universe does provide. If you believe it's a friendly universe.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Things will happen.
Yeah.
I know it sounds woo-woo, but it definitely does work. I really do believe in manifesting. That's why I love your affirmations, by the way.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The story that I share about my finding my mantra and all that stuff. That was like pretty intense for me at the time. But I've definitely in travel, but also with horses as well. There was a lot of situations where very similar. Like I just thought of something and I manifest it. And I couldn't, if you were to ask me, like, how are you going to do that thing? I wouldn't have, I don't know, but like, it'll be fine.
You just really want it, I think.
Exactly.
Is what the key to it is. Really, 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 really want it, and really, 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 really believe that it will happen.
And so how are you?
How it doesn't happen immediately.
Yeah. And how are you finding, like, obviously my program has a lot of mindset stuff as well. And you were just kind of sharing some of your bucket lists and all these things. Like, how are you finding the mindset aspect of things? I mean, you already sound pretty super gung-ho anyways, but yeah.
I find a lot of it actually mirrors what I already think anyway, which is kind of good. It's like newspapers. People always read the newspaper that mirrors what they already believe. Yeah. So it's kind of like a course version of that.
Yeah. And does it give you some kind of like outlet or structure behind it? Or?
Oh yes, I really do like the structure of your course. I think we've already touched on that, haven't we? Or was that in the conversation prior? I do love the fact that it's just like a logical structure that builds on itself, which is important to me. Because I lack structure. I want it, I crave it, but I lack the ability to create it a lot of the time. I'm very, I'm in the field running around with my horses, which is great. It's great fun. I've got a really good bond with my horses. My horses see me, they neigh, they gallop towards me, even if I'm carrying a saddle. But as far as the structure of training my horses is concerned, and I think this is very much, I've peeked ahead on the course, and I think this is going to give me a lot of structure, and I can't wait to do the barrel racing, by the way.
Yeah, I enjoy that one. I'll have a lot of English riders who are like, what am I going to learn from that? I'll tell you, my little mare Lily, because of course we did that with her, and we played a lot of polo with her in the beginning, so her turns are like fantastic. But I just for fun, we did a little bear racing thing, and she was like a total rock star. She was a pro. She was kind of like, it was with a bunch of other horses, and she was kind of like watched them, figured out what she's supposed to do, having never done it before, and starts kind of casually dozing, like, yeah, I already know what I have to do. And we went, and the guy was like, ready, go, or whatever. And she just like, oh my God, she puts her whole body behind it. It was just so much fun to ride, because she's a small little Arabian. Like, she's not super fast, but man, she puts 100% into it. And so just for fun, I made Christian ride her doing that. And he just was laughing the whole time.
How long had he been riding for at this point?
I think maybe a year he had been riding at that point, maybe a little less than. And he was just laughing the whole time because she sits back and she launches like a rocket launcher or something. And yeah, he was laughing the whole time. And he was the most greeny bean rider out of everyone. And everyone was looking at Lily. Butt? Yeah, he has. Yeah, he does for sure. He has a sticky butt. And I think everyone else would have been terrified for sure. But yeah, he was like, I'm on it. But he's ridden Lily a few times, obviously. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. So I think you're going to like that lesson for sure. Okay.
Oh, so definitely. Gonna do it on the Welsh Mountain Pony, not on the Belgian Warm Blood.
Yeah, it will be more of a canter pirouette with the Warm Blood. A nice controlled barrel racing experience.
Yes.
Yes.
With his controlled canter.
Yes, that's a bit Christian's mare Q. She's a bit more that. So what advice would you have, again, kind of the topic of people feeling stuck and frustrated and like they're not progressing? What advice do you have for those people who are watching right now and they're just feeling like they're not getting better no matter what they try?
Believe in yourself. Believe that you can. Things don't have to be perfect. Just not straight away. I don't think things ever have to be perfect. I think enjoyable and just get out there and do it and have a go. And everybody needs to have help to achieve. So make sure that you've got a peer group, like the VIP circle. Yeah. Plug for you now.
Yeah.
And doing it alone is hard. It's not impossible, but it is easier with someone there. Even if your motivation is to stop your coach face palming all the time, just do it.
Yeah.
There's that saying, isn't there? The person who says he can and the person who says he can't are both correct. So yeah, just do it.
So if you guys are watching right now and you're ready to get unstuck, okay, if you're like, that's me, I need to get out of this, I'm tired of going round and round and round in circles, literally and figuratively, then I want you guys to comment down below, free call. I'm going to reach out to you and let's book a call. Let's chat about what that plan, my training plan, would look like for you and your horse. So Ellie, what is it that you are looking forward to most in the next stage of your transformation and in your journey?
I am intrigued to find out how Sticky Butt improves my jumping, because after I lost my confidence and I'd got into the habit of going in front of the jump and trying to lift my horse up and everything. Once I got my confidence back, one of the things that actually stayed with me was this leaning too far forwards and then as a result, not being able to get back up in time for the next jump. When I was younger, I would go over the jump. By the time I was over the jump and I was leaning forward, then I would be coming down. And before the horse even landed, I would then be upright to go on for the next jump. I can't do that now. And I don't know how much of it is maybe my stomach muscles, my core muscles aren't strong enough because I'm middle-aged. But you see 60-year-old bodybuilding women and they've got 6-packs, they've got 8-packs. And I'm thinking, well, this is clearly not my age. Yeah. So I do think maybe it is my riding position. And I think it's because my legs weren't sort of following the barrel of the horse. So now that I've been doing a bit more of this, I want to come to the end of that and then see how that applies to jumping. I'm deliberately not jumping at the moment, because I want it to be a surprise that once I've done all this sticky butt, I then want to go and aim at a jump, a sensible size one to start with, obviously, and then just see if it worked.
Okay, spoiler alert, by the way, it is going to work. Spoiler. I do it's funny because in my FEI certification, all this stuff, we had to coach people jumping up to a certain height and they're jumping big jumps. But I'll tell you, 9 times out of 10, I fixed all of their problems with this stuff that you're working on now. the timing and the accuracy and the coordination and all of it, like it came from this. So I'm actually very excited for when you kind of graduate from that and we start jumping more. I'm going to have a lot of fun putting together your little jumping plans.
Yes.
I think we're going to have a lot of fun with that. But yeah, I'm very excited and I'm waiting for the after video, let's say.
Oh yes, definitely. Because some of the before videos are a bit embarrassing.
Yes, there's some before videos. Yes. Yeah. So, oh yes, share the name of your blog for everyone.
Oh yes, meraposal.com. I have a card. I don't know whether it's. Can I go?
There we go.
Ooh, is it?
Yeah, we can see it.
Excellent.
Love it.
It's a very funny blog.
Yes.
A bit rude sometimes.
That's what we love about you. Yes, that's what we love about you. So thank you so much for joining me today and sharing your story. I know, again, it's only been a couple of months now, but I thought it was really important to share not just like the done product version, but like someone who's in it. You know, you're in it, you're kind of stirring things up and getting there. So, you know, I find your story very inspirational, especially this whole like you chasing your goals and just going for it and being all in. And that's something that I really want people to honestly, like, if you take nothing else from today's video,
sell your house and live in a caravan in a field.
Yes, that one. Quit your job, sell the house. Yeah, do that one. But yeah, just make things happen. And you don't have to know the how, just know like what your goal is, you know, write it down, believe in it, take that to heart. And just, if no one else in your family believes in it, I don't care, because you have me and I believe in it, you know, like, and other people in the group.
People will think you're mad. People will think you're mad.
But not in the VIP.
Because no, not in the VIP. Yeah. I mean, in general, people will think you're mad, but you've got to go and do it. Doesn't matter what anybody else thinks.
Yeah, for sure. So again, thank you so much for coming today. You know, who knows, maybe some of you guys watching, you're going to sell your caravan or live in a caravan. You're going to sell your house. You're going to quit your job. You're going to fire your kids. I don't know what you do with kids, but trade your kid for a horse. I don't know what it is, how that works. But yeah, and maybe, I don't know, a few months from now, you guys will be on the call with me sharing your success story. So again, if you are ready and you're like, I'm all in, just comment down below, free call, and let's jump on a call and let's talk about what it would look like to work together. So yeah, thank you so much, Ellie, for joining me. And I can't wait to catch up with you again a little bit later. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much too.
All right. Bye, everyone.